Okie doke. Hi everybody. I think I'm live. I'll wait till I get some confirmation from people just in case, but looking like things are up and running. As you can see, I am alone today. Oh, I have pens here. Oh, I was looking for a pen. Good. I just wanted something like to twirl and fidget with, so that's at least that's the wrong pen. It's a good pen. I have a pencil. Is that the right pen? I think it'll work. Okay, cool. Lovely. Hello. I don't know if anybody's. Oh, there are people watching. Hello. It is just me today, unfortunately. I believe I'm not alone. Jonathan is here. Thank you, Jonathan, for making me less lonely. I'm alone insofar that Jake is not present. They are, if you had not been catching up, they are in Poland at this present moment. I think they are doing something with flights that where the schedule has like kind of just been weird. It is time to count the rice. I gotta plug up my beer. And that was, I will say, that was very oh my god, I almost turned my beer off. That was a very interesting game changer episode. As soon as like they were going down into like room 4 and 5, I kind of assumed that is what it was going to be. Like they had to go all the way back and all the way back up again, but I did not expect what the wind condition was, which I thought was very cute. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I hope it wasn't too much. It is a new location. We're slowly-ish starting to get everything sort of unpacked and such. So things are kind of, in a more than temporary place. I think things are mostly in the same place. But yeah, no spoilers for Game Changer. I promise you I will not give you any spoilers. I will remove that from my head. Jonathan, I'm sure you are very out of the loop in terms of kind of what is happening here. I will say I am somewhat usually always outside of the loop sometimes. So it is good. I made a little bit of an outline today since, again, I can't legally do anything professional. So this is what I got to fill my time with, which is very nice. To kind of at least focus on some stuff. I'll do a little bit of some more banter and stuff before we get started. I'm trying to think what chaos. Oh, we had a little friend come over for just kind of visiting and such. That was very pleasant. It was a little bit too soon off the throes of the move. But it was helpful to kind of like have someone over, make us sort of hurry up with like the organization of stuff. I definitely am feeling a lot less anxious this week than I have been last. That was a wild ride, and I'm very glad to be sort of like in a state of calm. And I'm sure you did not mean to be sarcastic, or else I would have seen the little /S to help me out. I will say that as much as people kind of rip on those like emotional indicators, it is very difficult to kind of like parse through like what people sometimes mean through like commenting and texts. So I always tend to like them. Some are better than others, but like I like /S. It is very helpful to that regard. But yeah, I think we are going to start off with the poll. As you see, I am in the noun section since our poll was regarding nominal correlation as well. Give me one moment. So it was a rather tight race over the course of today. Someone allowed the poll to like eke out a winner, which I thought was very helpful. I'll go to Papua New Guinea so you all can see the poll without any sort of spoilers therein. Go down here. So we had 3 options to kind of go for. We have the unmarked coordination. This was unfortunately, although the first option, the one that was least liked. So a couple people did vote for them. It was going, it did have a 2-2 vote going up until like recently. So it was very cool to kind of see how things happen. But people really did, I would say, yeah, Kayla, I think you voted for this one as well. You were kind of in the minority, but I'm glad your voice was still heard nonetheless. With the verbal coordination, I'm going to find my right tab. So this one is more so to repeat the verb rather than do any sort of affixation or any sort of like morphology on the noun itself. As you can see, we have this little B here. That's the word for to buy, and that's just repeating based upon whether or not she, bought the basket and then she bought the bunch of flowers therein. This could also be helpful, kind of repeating that just to kind of differentiate who was the agent in that, just in case this could have made it a little bit unclear. This one, I won't spoil it yet, but I will kind of think about how it compares to the final one. And this one was our old reliable, old faithful, and I think we will return back to this today. I don't want to put too much. I mean, like I'm going to talk about it right now, but so be it. So this one uses the that morphology we use for that unit augmented pronoun there, the ong or ung suffix there, where we kind of put both of the agents in the ergative. This little tag suggests that those two are coordinated together, and we can also kind of use that as a means for coordinating longer phrases as well, as we have here with the basket of whelks and the bunch of flowers that are tagging along there. And we have a nice little example here. What I will say is that the marked nominal coordination has gotten 3 votes. And the the verbal coordination has gotten 4. So the strategy that we will be using for coordination of nouns is our verbal repetition here, which I'm going to write down on my outline before I forget. We can nice and document it. Repetition. And then Caleb, I did see your point, and I do want to comment on it because I do agree with the flaws of the first past the post voting system. It is terrible. But of course, Patreon does have approval voting, yet it can sometimes be a little bit of a pain to organize and such. But we have our verbal repetition kind of going on there. So I'll write this up a little bit. I think I kind of screwed things up a little bit. I'm not really going to be paying, I don't want to say not paying too much attention to chat, just because of how I have things a little bit going with the stream and such, so I can't really see yet kind of who's saying what and such as. But I'm going to put nominal coordination here. And then I'll go down here and just copy and paste at least the example so we can kind of write up a nice description notably for me. And very similar here, Jonathan, I will say I was a little bit more partial to this one because, as we will soon find out, I did kind of, especially over the course of today, had a good idea about a piece of morphology or just a kind of like a new construction we can kind of use from that same sort of derivation with the unit augmented boyo. But there we go. And I'll kind of write it up a little bit. To coordinate two nouns or noun phrases in Tenira, one repeats the verb that the two nouns are either the subject or object of. For example, this argues that the agent of the sentence is both the subject, I believe, of buy, and the objects are the differing. Coordinans, I think, if there is some, I'll put uncertainty, I'm going to put unclarity. I don't think that's the right word. Uncertainty in which nouns are being coordinated. A repetition of the agent as a resumptive pronoun can be used, be optionally used. Cool. And ka-chow. And ka-chow. I'm trying to parse through a little bit of what that is. We're going to do that for now. Nice. Cool. Oh, Jake. Oh, wonderfully. I'm so glad you are at least on your way home safely. And that at least you are or have touched down in stuff in jolly old England. I do like the resumptive pronoun. I think that kind of helps clear things up. And that, oh goodness, that sounds like me a little bit from last week, but with hopefully less hassle. So that at least is the poll. But I know that, yay, I think these two next little boyos are going to be a little bit Alexis, going to be somewhat related. So I will scroll down once again to well, I won't. I'm going to put it under preposition right under here. So as you can see, we only have one preposition for the P mutation here, at least one in general. So one sort of goal that has been on the docket is a comminative preposition. So with something, and this is kind of perfect for our little coordination strategy. One of the things in that other option with the words with the marked coordination was that it comes from this unit augmented pronoun which means friend, and it stays as which I and Jake also explained that cluster is really annoying. But I do think there is some merit in kind of seeing how those two derivations are related, i.e. how, say, that coordination analogy from like kind of like you're tacking it on, you're joining them together, that can also be used for the comminative preposition. So even though that it is being used to derive this unit augmented pronoun, I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of flesh that out and allow that ong suffix, or yeah, it is a suffix, to be a preposition. So for the comminative. So I am going to, first off, boop, 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 boop. Oh, did it. Yay. Oh, I love ticking off boxes. So I'm going to, not there. I'm going to go down to prepositions. And I will put, I think I am going to put wool here and say that the ng, even though that like it's not even though it's not like where the correct derivation of the nasal mutation comes in, it's still nonetheless a nasal mutation. Jake, to answer your question, I did vote for the verbal repetition option. That was the one that I somewhat liked a little bit of a bit, but I did definitely have allegiances. I don't know if that's the right word, but like I did prefer that and the marked. I felt that like having some sort of means to like coordinate that wasn't just like the gapping was be helpful. Yes. Okay. So I was thinking that this ong suffix could be the comitive preposition and induce nasal mutation. This is with, and this is cominative. And then let's see a good example of a noun I can use for this. Commutative, what are we going to do with something? Rope. Let's see. I have a basket. Let's say with a flower. I did something with a flower. I think that's pamak, so it'll be ul. Ulma. I don't think ulmamak. Is it here? Yeah. Oh, B. Okay, yeah, because of D voices. So ul bamak would be with a flower, like along with a flower. Where to put prepositions. Nice. Ul bamak. I'll put along with a flower. And then we'll bold this doodle. And we'll go from there. And then I'll make this nice and happy underneath. And we'll go to table options. And we'll go to cell. And we'll go to middle line like a sane person. Yeah. Nice. That was better. Cool. At least that was something that I wanted to take care of. That was nice. But I will say that I mentioned this a little bit before, but me and Jake feel a little bit strongly about that ong suffix. So I'm going to go here. And we haven't really, I don't want to say we haven't used them in examples quite yet. I mean, they shall be used probably. But I did have some ideas, especially if they are going to be repeated over and over again, especially with the pronoun. They're like they're going to be reduced kind of down a little more. I will say I did have some confusion for myself writing down L and G because I was first like, it's going to be L and engma. And then my head said, oh, liquid natural gas, but that's not really relevant here. But the main option that I have been thinking of is that L could be dropped out, and that could induce a lengthening onto the U or the O down there as well. And why that kind of is going to be important is that long U and long O both break into ow. So theoretical, or O rather, I believe. OW, that's O. Yes. So what I think is cool is because that would at least allow these to nicely have all the same suffix, and that would kind of at least remove those more repeated instances of LNG in that there scenario. Whether or not it would remain in other spaces, we'll kind of see what's up. I think that is generally the option that I want to go with. I did have I was in a coffee shop this morning kind of doing that, and of course I'm I'm just kind of mouthing that ong, and for some reason and Al, you can tell by my intonation, I don't think this is going to be the way we're going to go with this, but part of me wanted to palatalize that L before the velar nasal because it's kind of still in that dorsal position. Maybe you could argue I was trying to do some sort of pre-velar nonsense. A fair argument. But that would, if we did do that, that L would palatalize. That would go to oing, and that will go to oing. And I just don't think that like oing works well here. And that's what I'm thinking too, Jonathan. Like, I'm going to get away with this, and I do really like this oing idea that I have kind of cooking. Yeah, oing just doesn't like keep oing put. Oh Lord, pution. Yeah, I mean pution sounds better a little bit. So that's why I think it's cool. At least that boot boot where to go to prepositions one more time. I'll go back a little bit. That if that will becomes the source for the commitive with, that L does still stay, and then in those forms where it's bound, like in those like unit augmented sort of situations, that's when that sort of like reduction starts to happen due to the repetition. Going at it, pronouns. So I'm going to say down here, as a result of frequent use, the unit augmented pronouns previously ended in the suffix ulng. I'll put ulng or olng in the case of the third person. I'll put this down here. Hello. Good job. The L in the cluster had induced lengthening on the previous vowel, which was subject to diphthong creation, where hue and o both broke to ow. And I will hold on, the correct diacritic for that little guy, the triangle colon. Nice. Nice. So these can go to Kiong. There we go. Pu Nyang. How tong, how ong, how tong, how tong, and bokong. That was a bit easier. There we go. Nice. Now cross out this little guy. Yay! Okay, I'm sorry for myself. Of course, it wouldn't be Booba if we didn't at least spend one moment talking about the anime Bleach. I have not watched Bleach recently, but I have been watching, or I watched the first couple episodes of a anime called The Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime, which is a show that I would not have particularly chosen for myself, but it did look interesting. It did say the word isekai, which I didn't know was not a bad thing, because there's always these not weird, but there's always these like Japanese terms that like are very specific in terms of how they describe anime, and I didn't know it was one of those ones, but it wouldn't be on Netflix if it was one of those ones. But so far, it is very interesting. I have not watched it in a while, but it is. Yeah. Okay. So you are familiar then. It looks like a decent show. Okay. Yes. That is what I'm learning about like isekai is that like it's more so like someone going into like a separate like dimension and like doing shenanigans and like at least no someone from yeah, it's like people ending up in another world. So like you could argue against like Rick and Morty could be one theoretically because they do go. Well, I don't know if they'd go in there, but like at least at one point in Morty's timeline, I guess that would be an isekai, maybe. Because like when I mean I'm spoiling Rick and Morty, sorry, buddy, but like when like Morty like and Rick died and like the other dimension of them came back and then like he like showed some of their graves and like but that was where I kind of wanted to go. Well, I crossed off 3 of my things of my tasks that I wanted to kind of get through. That was at least something. I will say it is helpful to kind of like plan, which is great. Let's see. I wanted to now review a little bit of the deverbalizing. I think we may have teased a little bit of this, but I wanted to be sure that it's finished in some regard. Fuck goes to eat, go force for eat, love, 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 love. Examples. So I will do some examples. I know this is dancer. That's the only one I remember at the top of my head, but at least this is like examples. There's no regular pattern forming object now from verbs, although one common derivational process. Okay, cool. So, this is like it's the Spanish thing we were talking about last week about like how it's like the cut nails is like your nail clipper or something like this, or like the wash dishes is like the dishwasher. Let's see if we can find a good example of something we can kind of like utilize with at least with the classifiers. Classifiers going down to classifier town. I don't think it's there, but I think it's here. It is! Oh my gosh, okay. So, what would be a good thing? Definitely one of these little doodles. I'm gonna probably use this tool, and that will get incorporated somewhere as like the round something. Let's see. Would be a good little guy. Round swan. No. That looks promising. I'm putting that down because I have an idea of another derivation of that, or like of what I'm thinking of, but just a little bit of, I don't think. Yeah, so using that, where are we again? Using this round or irregular, and it does come from ball. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. My idea has been completely like because I was gonna say like that classifier plus to throw would yield ball, but of course we have ball already present. I was going to say something like to play. So like a round thing that you play with is more so like a bouncy ball or something like this. Maybe I'm thinking too a little bit abstract in that regard, but maybe if we do like like not a because part of me think like a sink or a basin of some sort, potentially with some nouns like this. Oh, place maybe could work. I don't know how I feel about like a place where you. I guess that could be a place where you wash. Could be like a sink. Yeah, or like a yeah. Okay, so let's do that, and I believe, and I'll put down wash. Wash is somewhere, and I don't remember where it is. Yeah. Oh. I like this. I like this, and I like this a lot. I like this. This is great. But is it fashion, though? That's the main question. So I am going to... I am just check about incorporated nouns, because I think if I remember correctly, they do go after. Let's see. Oh, good. Person. No, before. Cool. That would work. Nice. So this would be that. And then this whole thing would be that. Cool. So the incorporated noun we have here is the place. So that is where we have a bunch of pronouns. I'm going to go to oop. And then I'm going to incorporate the nouns. But is it fashion? I will not be burping at this time. Whoop. And then hal. And I'll share this tab. Share this tab. Hal. And then hal. So this is kind of where my head is at. So this is a place where you wash, and this is a place where you wash yourself. So this could mean like a sink, or like I'm thinking of like the big old wash tins with like the washboard kind of like will scrape and such, versus like a place where you wash your body. That might be like the bathtub if we're talking about like modern times, or like a river section, or like the beach, like a place where like you specifically go to like bathe yourself. I do want to come up with, I do like this derivation a lot. I do want to come up with ones that aren't places, but that was the kind of, your browser has lost connection to your camera. You can click the camera button to try again. Okay. That was interesting. Yeah, the hearing seemed to be just fine. It just happened to be like, I do know that, like, how I phrase this, our internet is included with our apartment, yet that's kind of not the problem, but like it probably isn't like the best like speed of it all if we like would have like chosen like what plan we would have got. Hooray for privatization, question mark? No, I don't. Please don't quote me on that. But let's see what these come out as, and then I think we'll probably come out with some new derivation patterns here. So okal and okaltu. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go share this tab instead. I'm going to go down there. La, 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 little bit of Lexis. Great. Boop, boop, boop. So I'm going to put these here. I'll put place. I'll put wash. And this is like a sink or a wash basin. Go away, Tate. And then this is place. This is wash. Wash yourself. Wash oneself. That's what I tried to do with the O/S, but it didn't seem right. This will be like a bathtub or like section of river dedicated to, I'll put like bathing spot. Okie doke. It makes the mob look transparent and reasonable. Now I'm very curious about that. I started to use yins more, but like I definitely realized that it's definitely not probably well known in these parts. I will also say that I think just based upon like Remy's description of like how the queer community here works, that like y'all is definitely used a lot specifically for that purpose. To kind of like be like inclusive in that regard. Which I think is very nice. I will also say in that same vein that like I know there are people who don't like this, but I don't mind spelling folks with an X. That's going to be what it's going to be. But either or, I like both formats. But I want to do something like, not possession. There we go. Maybe something like this. This might be. Oh, I don't think we have a word for this actually. What if? And this was what I was going to do maybe a little bit, since most of the stuff that I wanted to get through, we got through a little bit. So I'm going to do some examples of this. This is kind of fun. This is like the derivation portion of it. And then I want to maybe do some like gram-bake table comparison to be sure that like, I'm not going to say that like once that gram-bake table is finished, that means kind of like the season's over, but it is helpful to kind of like know when to stop, or like when like you have your language at least like grammatically to a point where you can pretty much do a lot of stuff. But I thought I'd get like a cup for a cup store, like to stores in terms of like to pack and such. That would be a cute word for like a jar. And then I wanted to kind of like maybe like, we'll see what's up. But I think that's a really good derivation. But I don't think we have a word for to store something. I can just search this. To store, to will be another word for the store that we might not to cache. Okay, that's like the me trying to French it up a little bit. But I don't think we have a word for to store. So let's, H's and K's are very as of well. We have a lot of words of. Maybe R, maybe S. Let's see. Technology, protophonotactics, go away. We have the. I forgot about that. Let's see with both. I mean, it won't matter too much. Jar. Well, first off, let's see what cup is, because I forget. I know, Jake, I still have. Oh. Oh, thank God. Okay, that is so relieving. Oh, good. This is Newell. Okay, I was curious about what the cup word was, but with my thought is that like my memory for this word, like I do not know how, like I don't remember all of this since it seems like it's the one thing that's like to have constant in my mind. So at least that's going to start with a theta or an esh. That's great. Let's make thou. What thou? I don't want you. I don't think it needs a U. Either an. I think even like an A. I'm thinking A. You go over for the store. Sham. That's licit. Shamch. Yeah, nasal implosive. Okay. Let's see if that. I think the nasal here will assimilate because of the rule that we have. So let's see how that comes out. I can't wait to see how this turns out. M T. Let's bite this bullet. Let's see how this looks. Shamped. So it didn't. I like shamped a lot better, but it depends on how Mule, a little Mule tide. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference, but I think these are two like shamch, a little bit hefty for my taste. So I think it is going to end in T, but like watch it. Let's see. I feel like part of me, there is that word. Okay, good. Nice. Yes, that is correct. Is the classifier separate or incorporated for the object noun? That's a great question, Jake. Let's, on the verbal derivation, I don't have to go there. Let's see, actually. Am I sharing? Yes, I can share this tab. Oh, I'm going to see how they are when they're incorporated. But I think too. Okay, it just voices. So nothing really crazy did happen. Boop, boop, boop. Fossilized incorporated object. So, like, I'm reading this note to future/present me at this moment that it is going to be, it is going to be an incorporation potentially. If it is. But I want to flush out a little bit. I have an idea a little bit going in. So I still should probably put this. I'll just put both of the both the separate and the derivation. I can imagine it happening both ways, and we can kind of see where we are at in terms of slashes. Flush. Really? Is there a difference between flesh out and flush out? Is that like one of like the nip it in the bud sort of like things that like I feel like was one of those that did not get properly taught to us? What an S? Oh, that's why I thought I was making the same word over again. Oh, whoa! Wait. Okay, that's crazy. Because I know. I mean, obviously, like I've probably said this multiple times, like to flush out something. Because like you're flushing out like to clean a gutter, you would flush it out, but you wouldn't like flesh out the gutter. But like flesh out gives like oh it's someone knows this. It's the Almodovar movie, the skin something. There's like the skin of our own. Oh, I'll figure it out later. But great movie. If you have not watched it, I don't want to spoil it, but it's really freaking crazy. Almodovar, we love a queer icon. So much. I am going to use the S one, shockingly enough. This is crazy. I did not expect me to be here, but I'm going to oh. Well, great. Girl, no. Nice. The verb to store something. Hello. This is some. So theoretically, a boop doop doop. Oh no. My pause is potentially seeing a similarity in this, but I don't think it's a strong enough one for it to be like completely like eroded into like oblivion. So, my God, dual samt or dual samt. There's not really a lick of it. There is not a drastic enough difference comparatively to the other one, is what I was trying to say. Object noun, kachow, jewel samt, or jewel samt. Jewel samt. This is from Newell, like your Newell tide. Cup. Plus. To store something. And it's that. It's a jar. Jar or like I feel like I feel like I give like double definitions just to like be clear about like what things are. Learning. I don't think flesh to flush. Oh wait, hold on. This would be something which stores jars and not that a jar that stores. So this might be like like a shelf, maybe. I was going to say like dresser, but I don't think that's a correct word. But like, I think like pantry might be a good word. Because you wouldn't call it a chest of shelves. Like this, like I have a calyx right here, and like I think like, it's a bookshelf, but like, it doesn't have to have like stuff like books in it. Anyway, I think I'm being too pedantic. Oh, thank you for bringing back on the correct topic of the container score. I will say that the Container Store is such like a liminal space because of like it's just like the shelving unit. There we go. Yes. Well, I was going to say shelving unit, but that sounds like so contemporary, if that makes sense. Wait. Little thought. This is for Jake most specifically, but I was wearing my Algic Languages t-shirt around before I got food on it, and the barista today asked me what the Algic languages were, and it was very fun to explain to her in French. I was very proud of myself of what the Algic language were. I was like, oh my god, I can speak. Shit, it's great. I love it. I'll put shelving unit. I don't know, girl. I have want to come up with a word for jar. Maybe. I also want to do this. Oh. Go away. Bart. I feel like this has been like teasing us like a useful example, but I think we just like maybe need like I mean, we do have a useful example, more or less. Where is it? Where are you, Tate? Here? No. Hello. Oh, here we go. Okay. Trauma put on. This is wrong. Go. Hold on. Transitive verb and subjects. No. Hold on. Boop. No, that still works. It's just active verbs. No, hold on. I know this is correct. Okay. Active ergative subject. Well, the subjects as well as the subjects of active intransitive verbs. Boom. Subjects of stative intransitive verbs are marked, are left unmarked in the absolutive case. Okay, great. So the person is dancing. Yes, they are dancing. Or yeah, I guess this would be go away. Okay, so this sentence would either mean the person danced a while ago, or like the person is dancing as it's their it's their profession. Like it's just a general truth a little bit. Now I would assume, okay. What did I do? Oh, that what it does? Okay, so this is the person and this is the verb. So the adverb is going to go after because we're doing things a little bit differently. And we're going to go to form and we're going to go to capitalization. I'm going down there. Did you all see that? Oh, this is new. Small caps. Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. I want to try this out. Okay. Hold on. James. Okay. Let's just use this. I'm just very curious. Okay. Oh my god. I'm so excited. This is crazy. Okay, we're going to text. I'm going to go small caps. Okay, well that didn't do anything. But what if I did this? Hold on. Whoa. Oh my god, small caps. Oh, it's so cute. Look how cute it is. Oh my goodness. It's a cute little kid. Okay, sorry. That half made my evening. I'm not gonna lie. That was crazy. This is crazy. That's so. I'm gonna put it back. That's so crazy. Can I just do this again? Yeah, here we go. Okay, that is good to know. This person definitely will be dancing. Dancing. Kappa. The person is currently in the process of dancing. And then liak is the person danced maybe an hour ago. Nice. Then I'll bold these and then nice. Yeah. I mean, like, this definitely was not here, the little small cat boy, like a week ago. So I'm just generally very excited that it is present in that little guy, in this, like, as an option. But I don't know how I will abuse that power. I'm trying to think about active. Okay. I had an idea. About an adjective. Oh, I remember this. Yes. That's a collaborative effort. That's gonna be a longer process. Where are the adjectives again? Is this it? Yeah, okay. Well, hang on. Okay. I guess what I'm trying to do is like make a word for, well, yeah. They would have glass in this doodle, I think. I think I want to say like a good glass cup is a jar. Oh, this is to throw now. This is a thrower. Some sort. Okay. Or also, let's actually a cup that well, I gotta redo that. Yeah, it does not make a difference. I'm also trying to remember my varying visits to the Toledo Museum of Glass, where they do have like old ass, like they have like this exhibit where like the history of glass, and it kind of like is like a visual timeline of it, of like how glass became its thing, I guess. Oh, where is Jake's little reminder of me not being smart? This would be something something which stores jars and not something that a jar that stores. So I don't say a wash cup. Something that's okay, a store. Oh, a store. Oh, yo. Okay, yes, got it. Okay, cool. I don't think there's gonna be anything that would be. Oh, we really don't have like any like stative verbs. We have to be tall, and that's about it. I kind of want to just generate some more stative verbs. Yeah. Yeah, we need stative verbs. We need more stative verbs. Okay. So we have to tall, which means we need a word for to short. So what would to short be? Let's see. To short something. To short change. Or to Monet exchange if you're talking about the drag mother. I still think that's crazy. That like Tyler Oakley won the Amazing Race. I don't think is that a spoiler? Do people know that? I don't know if I'm gonna rewatch the Amazing Race seasons, but like especially nowadays where like I think they removed like the country little portion where like they have to go into the airport and they like on the flight. I think it's all like Taylor Swiftified where they go on private jets now to places, which beats the purpose of the whole entire show. Anyway, let's see. I think to be short, to start with an F. Let's say F I Angma. No, H U. What does that come out as? F I Angma H U. I don't know. We'll see. But that's definitely Fingu. Okay, I like Fingu. I don't think it would have changed with or without the H. No. Would it change with a glottal stop? Probably. Yeah. Fingu. No, I think Fingu is fine. I do like the H though in there because it adds a little bit of spiciness to it. Nice. F. Oh, we don't have an F I word. Yay. F I Fingu. I will say also that Faye is the name of my niece, which is very funny nowadays. It's weird having yeah, it's weird having family again. I never thought I would have that again. It's very odd. Fingu, like Fingy. Why do we have Fingu? We'll make Fingy something. Why not? Fingu. Fingu. How did this S? Great. To be short. Okay, so I'm trying to remember last time I figured this out, but we have it somewhere in the language. Like we have it's that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so hold on. Wait. Okay. Let's say to be open. That's pretty no, but that's not like to be wide. To be wide. God, two verbs that I'm creating is to be short and to be wide. So at least we have all like the adjectives to describe Wario instead of Waluigi, but we'll get there in a little bit. But Wario is short and wide, for sure. But why I was thinking about that is like we have A, and then we have that approximate, and then something there. I think it's a palatal. But oh goodness, how do we get it again? The long I. I'll test it out again, but I think it's like I'm just going to use a placeholder constant. I really don't care. Let have it be Q for all I care. Q A. I think it's EV. Is EV or R that like does the doodle? But it's only in like you have to bind it by something. What do you have to bind it by? I think it's a palatal. Where is it? I just saw it this morning. I mean, not palatal, but definitely like maybe it's the L. I mean, well, oh, girl, I will say that that's not a bad word, but is it a licit word? It is, because an L is a approximate. So that would be a valid word, lest we don't have it already. I was like fairly certain it's like an R something does it. Try to get a more like true palatal. Kind. Okay, maybe not. Now I'm just testing the waters a little bit, y'all. I'm sorry if this is like, oh yeah, we got it. Yes. Okay, cool. Great. Really? That's a approximate. But it's not encoding it as palatal though. Okay, anyway, this is the form I want. I want this form. I don't care.
Hello.
Oh God! Oh Jesus! I was not paying. I did not expect you to even be present on stream today. I thought you would just like take a little break and relax, and I could do my own little thing. Oh dear mother of God! I feel like my heart has just like busted out of my chest. Okay, so Jake, I have made a word for to be wide. It is protoform QAEV N, and it's kind.
That reminds me of the drag queen, but I feel like did Kind do something bad?
No, Kind is something absolutely fantastic. Kind was the first one to go home on Drag Race Canada, and then she became a very popular drag math influencer. And now she's doing like STEM, like enrichment for children, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love that you ended up with 3 A's.
I know. At least I know where it goes in the alphabet, Mary. Oh my God, that's so funny. I don't think we have. I mean, this is our only. Oh, here we go. No, it's not our only long vowel.
I don't know. Part of it is that if you randomly joined Jonathan, I think you would show up for the host, but you wouldn't be able to necessarily just add yourself. Whereas because me and Miles are both considered hosts, I was waiting for Miles to spot that I was in here, but then I realized I could just add myself.
And I was like, because like, of course, like I can't like go back and forth often. Like I was kind of like in my zone. So as soon as you kind of came in, I'm like, oh my God, I'm terrified. Oh, also, y'all, all this morning, I was going to say, I was logging in. I sorry, I re-downloaded Reddit. Kill me. But everybody and their mom was saying, like, why is the sky yellow? The sky is yellow today. I don't understand why the sky's yellow. Because there's wildfires and they're blowing all the way over here, all the smoke. So now our sky is yellow today. And we had a tornado warning. A tornado warning. How? I don't understand how this is possible. Hey, Jonathan, tell me, when is the last time there's been a tornado warning up in these parts? Because I can't fathom it. Because, like, oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that also tracks with the sky color and not the tornado warning. But it's been like blowing wind to beat the band for certain. Oh, gosh darn it! This is a state of verb. To be wide. To be narrow is the other one. Now we can describe both Wario and Waluigi.
And it makes me want to make to be known. But...
yeah, well, that's why I was like going to say like to be open, but that's like that seems more of like an Englishy thing, but also like that's more so like a passivization of something rather than like it's like what's it called? Like an actual like state of verb. Like that would be maybe like derived from to open something. In this instance.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we have we want a lot of L words. L schwa K schwa.
I feel like I've grown up without much time left.
Yeah.
We have a combative preposition now. Very happy about that.
Me and you both. That came to like me as I was working this morning. I'm like, what a good idea that was. I was going to work a little bit on like the instrumental vibe of that, but I wanted to save. I think that's a longer discussion of where that's going to come out from. Where the hell is a vowel? There, a vowel. Give me a vowel. I'll buy you a vowel. Look
the repeating of the verbs. I do feel like I don't know. The thing with like I think that we're a bit afraid of doing anything close to a serial verb construction because we managed to like fuck it up so bad for Yatlao. And I think also Nasi Bomo, we kind of fucked it up because of trying to do 3 versions of the same thing with slightly different nuances between all of them. And then because we were just like, no, we're not doing it. And
now we're back here.
We're back here in analytic land, and it just seems like if you can repeat a verb twice and it refers to the same action, why not,
serial verbify.
I think it's maybe just a case where we have to be like careful with definitions.
Where? Oh, I had a no, never mind. I was going to say. I'm just kind of focusing a little bit.
No, I'm glad that you're focusing. I will say, I had this feeling like, oh no, maybe the reason that I feel like sometimes we're not productive is that I'm there because you got so much done.
I think sometimes it's because like how to phrase this. I think I can tend to focus on the banter a lot of times and not on the pertinent stuff. But I will say, this is going to come as a surprise. Having the outline today helped.
Mm-hmm.
Sean.
So I was trying to like, we've got our checklist at the top of the page.
Yeah. That's been very helpful a little bit. We have like 15 minutes left as well, which is a nice good amount.
We did a lot of verbal morphology, right? So we made choices there.
Yeah, that's done.
So this, I feel like if we were going to do this, we would have already done it.
Yes, and if like when we come back to Honolulu, we can kind of maybe entertain this a little bit and say that it just got lost in this language, and maybe it somehow, some way, like didn't lose that derivation in that language. But that might be yeah.
Oh, there was one. I think that I didn't manage to communicate very well what my questiony thing was. So there was one thing. Okay, so the hal versus halu, right? The halu, the u means body, right?
With the one I just made, right?
Yeah, u means body. So
yes,
I think like, oh, I also the hal isn't in here in the proto language thing either.
Yeah, that's probably not.
Annoying. Okay, so hal verb to wash. So I think that the order of wash oneself seems weird.
Yeah, I had thought that a little bit when I was kind of like noticing it as well.
Because this isn't the first example. Yeah, I think it's either the u body would end up, if it's suffix like that, I don't think it's really an incorporated object, and it's more of a, we had talked about whether we would have a reflexive, right? Because the proto language doesn't have a marked reflexive, I don't think.
Correct. It doesn't.
I think part of it is that hatlu is a really nice word, but it's like, I'm fairly sure based on the order of things, it should have been the other way around, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right, because that's the position where the incorporated noun would have gone. Is word initial, or not word initial, but
before the lexical
Thank
verb.
you. I got caught mid stutter.
And I'm fine with having a reflexive. I think it makes sense.
I will say that I have not changed my number yet. So I still get a bullshit amount of like voting reminders, because like it's an even year in America, so there's going to be some sort of voting thing. So I've been like, at least like the past, like just today, I've done like 5 distinct texts being like, "Hey girl, are you voting? Remember to vote. Go vote now. Vote, 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 vote." I'm like, stop. Like, why must you invade my little personal space? I'm tired of all this.
And I think the other thing here is, I think these are cool derivations. They're also, I wouldn't say they're object nouns.
I would also not say they were object nouns. Yeah.
I feel like I'm reading you, and I don't want that to be the case.
No, it's not. It's sometimes that like I will say that I sometimes will read this like in terms of like an evangelical reading their Bible, but like I need to understand that sometimes it might not be as correct as it could be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So oral, theoretically, if we were to go back down these parts here, and we were to swap this order, it would go from ha'u to I just said it, oral.
Ural. Or does the U
The
change? Oh, yeah.
because it's going to
Ural.
uvular lower.
Sorry, I think it was Englishing.
Mm.
I know my Polish isn't great, but having to hear my family mispronounce the Polish all day for the weekend has been something.
Oh, you reminded
We
me
went
of
to a.
something. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to ask you, if you saw a place that was called this, how would you pronounce it?
If I had thought that was an English word, I would pronounce that toggle.
Yeah, and if you thought it was Polish,
Tigle. Tigle.
yeah, it's Tugle.
Tigle. Okay.
But they would either call it Tiggle or Tiggle. Tiggly. No, they say Tiggly. I was like, no, it's
Tiggly.
not Tiggly. I'm like, I know that it doesn't look phonetic to you, but it's.
I will say that Tiggle would imply two G's, I think. That's definitely toggle for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I had a thought that I was going to say, but I completely forget what it is, and that's not like an uncommon occurrence. Oh well, it'll probably come back. Oh. So, we got this coin, like a $2 coin, and around the edge was like a black ring, and I guess they made like these special coins to commemorate the death of Queen Elizabeth. So some $2 coins have like a black ring on it, and then like some have already started like having like Charles' face on it. I think that's very cool.
Have I ever told you about when I went to India, my Google Maps changed accent to Indian, and I would sometimes try and change it back, especially if I was like trying to navigate with people who wanted to hear the instructions, or if I used to be worse at like remembering, um, like um, to like turn my phone volume off, and so I'd be navigating around London, and
Mm-hmm.
suddenly Google Maps would be speaking in a like Indian accent, and I I didn't I feel like if people judge me, that's on them. But
Oh,
also it made me look like such a weird person.
it's like you had your little like Indian guide like driving you around London a little bit.
It's like, take the next left at Charing Cross. Like, thank you.
I would be mortified.
But then it tried to say all of, like all the odd English place names. Imagine all of those said with an Indian accent.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. So Remy has this game called OpenTTD, and you can kind of choose which naming conventions you choose for the game, and you can choose silly names. But when I say all of them are like really like hilarious, like British town names, like Bigglesbury or like Dordalshire or something like, or like Pigglesworth. It's hilarious.
Okay. I feel like we should like write this down in separate places and then or no, I think we can just go one by one. I'm gonna try and imagine it in my mind.
Okay. You gotta get into Kath and Kim mode.
Chantajano.
Chianti-Janar.
I feel
Chianti-Jan.
like this is also a reference neither of us have especially strong.
Well, here we
Yeah.
go. Chianti might be to Chiantigiano as Parma is to Parmigiano.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Okay, we need to see from Jonathan who is
Yes.
closer.
I do want to say that I think we have a thing to announce for for next week, but not for Tuesday next week.
Oh, are you a Sunday first day of the week person?
Yes.
Are we thinking of different things?
We're thinking of the same thing on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
My calendar has it in the
Sunday.
It's Sunday, yeah.
On the 19th.
Yes. But we'll be streaming alongside Will from Lance Unknown for at least like a couple of weeks to get our maps sort of taken care of, which I am utterly elated for. So you get to see our beautiful faces twice a week, and maybe Jake's thrice a week.
I don't know. I feel like I got to a point where I think I've delayed a whole bunch of like media-based things. I think since I left my job, I've just been delaying a whole lot of shit. And I think it's catching up with me. And so I now feel like I know I used to do more work at my job than I do day to day now. But I feel like a professional YouTuber with not enough viewer followers to be good professional.
But like sometimes that's just like life just like gives its hardest journeys to the weirdest beings.
Yeah.
Like that I will say that this has been this sort of like limbo has been very helpful in like yes, like me doing a lot of like focusing on this, but also just like realizing that like maybe I did do a little more at work than I had like intended, and like keeping up with a daily routine is without a job is a little difficult, or at least like not having like a specific place and schedule to uphold. That's been pretty difficult a little bit, I would say.
Okay, I'm doing like a really quick but simple poll now because I feel like I don't want to give a whole week to it.
I also want to give a whole week to it, but I do have a an answer that I like. I will also say that I think my floor is like slightly tilted because every time I sit like this, like watch, it just will naturally just like make me like just wee.
It reminds me a bit of those screensavers where you sort of bounce around a slightly distorted photo of something, or like where the DVD logo bounces from the screen. But
yes, I will say I do miss the pipes, like the pipe screensaver. That was so lovely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we're going with it. Mm-hmm. I think we're preserving the cool form.
Yes.
And I think that's fine.
It's fine, and
It
we
feels
find ways
like
enough.
it feels like a full circle thing.
Speaking of full circle, I had a really great discussion about Jesperson's cycle with Remy the other day. It's very nice.
Isn't it Jesperson?
Sure, yeah.
Sorry. This
No,
also reminds me of we have a German friend whose surname is spelled Jehn, and whether we pronounce it as Jen or Yen, we seem to go between. One of us will say one of them, and then the other one will say the other, and it seems like a really silly thing to be cycling through. Do you remember what these are? Somewhere down in the poll section. Speaker, merchant, catcher is the order.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot what it was, but I figured it was in the polls. Okay.
I think that we should also, how would you feel about we're calling this agentive? I feel like we could call these like I don't know, classifier verb constructions.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
I don't know. There must be a proper term for it, but like I think that with the Okal versus Upal, this feels like a place where this structure is much closer to the agentives than it is to these object nouns.
I agree. Well, that's what I was kind of like. Maybe what we were intending with like that whole like sort of like la vaisselle sort of deal. I will also say that, Jonathan, I read that as clematis, and maybe that's just because like that's the pronunciation I grew up hearing, so I'm probably like predisposed to that vibe. But yes,
I say clematis.
You say clematis. I
Isn't
don't
that the same as the shop owner?
Clematis.
Oh.
I've never heard it pronounced clematis before.
What does Wiktionary say? Because Wiktionary's it includes two pronunciations, clematis and clematis.
Yeah.
So my clematis is also non-standard.
Represented. Oh.
Lovely.
Okay, y'all. So thank you for joining us on Booba, or Let's Have a Booba. It was more so a little bit of a solo Booba today, but
I did want to know what you wanted to do for the poll.
Oh, what do we want to do for the poll? I did want to maybe do some stuff about the subordinate clauses, about like, because that's kind of maybe not really in the same vein as coordination, but it is going to kind of be helpful to know if there is going to be a gapping strategy or not, or there's going to be some sort of like subordinating clause linker doodle. That's where my head's at.
In what sort of cases? Because I think some of it can be teased out. I had previously completed Duolingo Polish, and I finished it again. And the last module is just examples of how you use the nominal forms of verbs with various case inflections to describe a bunch of different relationships that otherwise are like in a lot of things that in English you would use that structure for.
Mm-hmm.
Like the book that I bought, you would say like the book bought by me, and you can use that structure to avoid a subordinate clause per se. But because you can throw the by into the case thing and then shove the rest of it onto that. I feel like I'm not explaining myself very well.
I maybe know what you're saying, but yes,
like, because we do have these two participles.
Correct.
And I feel like I'd like to squeeze the most juice out of those before we. Like, I feel like if we do a poll, it will probably be a poll with various strategies. And I think knowing that we're going to have like multiple verbs that are technically the same action complicates things a bit. I feel like I'm not making 100% sense, and I am going to blame that on the fact that I was on a plane 2 hours ago.
Literally just got home, more or less.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can expect a poll. Hopefully by tomorrow or by Thursday. We shall see how we get there. But I'm going to end this stream. So I wish thee all a beautiful
we'll figure something out.
Yep. Bye, folks. Goodbye.